Merry Christmas, motherfuckers! Welcome to the World Class Bullshitters Christmas episode. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight is the one, the only, the very festive Dion Green!
Baby, baby! Now you heard it here first. I've told everyone, I'll say it again. Jingle bells was a euphemism for showing your dick to the ladies, and god damn it, I intend to do it every fucking day.
Oh, what fun it is to ride. But the whole one-horse open sleigh thing sounds like masturbation.
Right, jingle bells, jingle all the way. That means dick and vagina.
I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to go on to the last standing Samoan, Nick Udom.
Happy Kwanzaa.
I was going to ask you how they celebrate Christmas in Samoa, but I guess you guys don't. You just celebrate Kwanzaa.
No, we fight amongst each other, and whoever wins gets all the presents.
Sounds like every family in America.
Yeah, but see, we use guns and bolts and knives and actually kill each other.
I thought you guys used spears.
No, that was the last 50 years, but the current 50 years we've upgraded.
Okay.
So every 50 years, Samoa just gets slightly better.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Current. But I always love the phrase "the current 50 years," not the last 50 years, but
the
current 50 years.
And finally, you know him, you love him. He's kind of crazy, but that's why he's here. Dustin McNeese.
When I think of Christmas, I think of the Holocaust. And Jeff, how do I know that Germany is still very anti-Semitic?
How?
I watched German Gangbang today. 17 dicks, not one of them circumcised.
Wow! Oh, that's how we celebrate the holidays, with bukkake. So guys,
it is white, it is festive, and your kids love it.
I guess it's the new meaning for White Christmas. I'm grossing myself out, so I'm gonna stop. But guys, it's Christmas in a couple days. We're all excited, and we're ready to celebrate here on the channel. So tonight we got a Christmas-themed episode. We're gonna talk about some movies, some of our favorite Christmas specials, all that other bullshit. Hell, we may even talk about some of our favorite Christmas memories. But before we get into that, let's cover the news, because next week it's irrelevant. So who has news to share?
I do. This one, I wasn't able to find a whole lot of information on it. Obviously, it kind of just fell into my lap. My sister told me about it earlier this afternoon. But outside of the video of it, there's very little research being done into verifying if it's real. Obviously, so far, my sister shows me this video. It's a dude in like a hotel room, and these other guys are saying something, in a different language, and they just are beating the shit out of this guy. They're whipping him with ropes. They tie the rope around his neck and are fucking choking him. The dude's all beat up and bleeding all over the fucking mattress. And apparently, and this is according to not the most reliable website, it's a video of a fucking Venezuelan cartel capturing a guy who apparently stole like $28 million in quote-unquote drug money. And they're posting the video as a ransom to his family, saying that he has 2 days to fucking pay the money back. Or they have 2 days to pay the money back. The fucking crazy part is that it was a story that was posted 2 days ago. So my man might not be sleeping on that bed anymore. He might be fucking in a barrel somewhere in goddamn the capital city of Venezuela. So I was like, it's like No Country for Old Men in real life, but with Latin people.
No, I can verify. I can verify that is false, because what you described is how that German gangbang video started. So I think your sister stumbled upon Pornhub. And,
either that or your love for dicks is just creeping into every facet of your life. Where you hear a story and you're like, that reminds me of that fucking German gangbang I watched 50 seconds ago, and god damn it, I am just as hard.
Poking into every facet of life, but yes.
Right.
Dion, that is a fucked up way to celebrate the holidays, getting your ass beat for stealing some money from a Hispanic mob. But
well, the funny thing was, and I felt so bad for laughing, because I'm just like, hopefully, he has a fucking Venezuelan uncle that's a lot like Liam Neeson, but if not, I just couldn't help but laugh. But there's this like short, obviously, Latin dude, and he has no shirt on, and he's fucking skinny as shit, and he's just got these gray sweatpants, and he's just whipping the dude with the rope, and then just automatically goes for the fucking choke move. And I'm just like, that dude is so little, but he's scaring the absolute dog shit out of me right now. And I couldn't help but laugh. I'm just like, this little dude is fucking fucking this dude's whole life up in the span of however long the video was. I was like, God fucking damn.
I have a question. How big would $28 million be? Like, how much space do you need to accommodate $28 million in cash?
Depends how big the bills are. I mean, if they're all hundreds, probably still a lot of money. I mean, if they're in fucking like 50s or 20s, yeah, that's a shit ton of fucking weight you got to move. But higher the bills, probably not that big of a haul there.
Then you got to think it takes 10 of their dollars to make one of ours, so then you got to multiply that by 10.
Right.
Jesus, that's a lot. I just couldn't imagine all that cash. I'll tell you this: if I was gonna do that kind of robbery, I'd make sure I get away with that shit. Like, I'd cover every track. Shit.
One of them too was of the few actual sources. One was saying that he posted it on Facebook and he went back to to the hotel room that was in his name. So obviously he doesn't watch a lot of Jason Bourne movies or read a lot of Tom Clancy books because if I'm gonna rob a cartel, I'm not going back to my hotel room that I've had the entire time I've been there. So obviously he's got to take some responsibility for his actions.
Dude, if I robbed a cartel, I'm leaving that country and I'm never ever going back. I'm gonna take some of that money and get plastic surgery, dye my hair a different color, and put my money into high interest yield accounts and live in Europe. Get my learn a new language and never call my family again. Be like, fuck you, children of mine. I'll take $28 million. I'll start a new family.
Right.
I'm glad I'm not alone there.
Oh yeah, if you a cartel shit, that's like, that you don't have any respawns in that game. That is, you are playing cheats. You have past the point of no return, and if your ass gets caught, you are literally gonna turn in the grass or fucking the goop in a barrel somewhere on the goddamn Mexican highway.
Why you gotta bring up goop this early
on
in
the
the
podcast?
What, Dustin?
I said Dion is not allowed to say gook on the god damn it. Just so there's a racial slur in there disguised as a pun.
First off, if it was goop in reference to our favorite website goop.com, but I also apparently associate it with tortured victims of drug cartels. So thanks, Gwyneth. You're really pressing forward this year.
I'm hoping with a K, but yeah.
Well, if there was $28 million, correct?
That's what the article said.
Okay, so it would approximately weigh 617 pounds.
Jesus, that's half a fill.
That's cold.
Yeah, because $1 million in 100 notes is about 22.05 pounds. So.
Shit, I'll get out with a couple mil. I'll get out with like $10 million. I can do it. I could lift 200 pounds. I'll still disappear. There'll still be a world-class bullshitters. I'll just broadcast from some other location.
You'll be using a Tor browser and a VPN.
But to say, you're going to spend about $2 million of that dollars fucking buying equipment to scramble your shit so you don't have cartel assassins sneaking up in your door trying to lug your big ass into a little barrel.
I'll hire Google 13 and he'll take out the rest of the people for me. I'll be broke. That's $3 million a hit. Fuck that. Speaking of bullshit on the internet, Nick, what was your story?
My story was about Adam Salah, who apparently made a video. I'm sure everybody's seen it. This brown guy on Facebook or on Twitter or wherever, making a video about talking to his parents, talking to his friend in Arabic, and getting kicked off of a Delta flight. If you've seen this video or heard about it, it's complete and utter bullshit. Adam Salah is a prankster on YouTube, and that's all he does is pranks. And it came out today that it's entirely bullshit. Delta even made a statement. It's like, Delta even made a statement that he was being loud and being obnoxious and being a pain in the ass. So they're just like, you know what, get the fuck off the plane. So he made it like this whole race baiting thing. Even his friend tried to say the same thing, but that's not what happened at all. They were just being assholes and trying to cause problems and get kicked off the plane and make a big deal about it because they look like the way they do.
Didn't he also say that it was like he was trying to say that it was him talking Arabic to his mom or some shit?
Yeah. That was that's what he said. He was like on the phone talking Arabic to his mom, talking Arabic to his friend, but that's not what happened. A lot of the witnesses told the Delta Airlines and the media that they just got up, started yelling stuff in another language probably Arabic, and it was just annoying, Like, and here's the thing: people are traveling during the holidays, and when you do that shit, it's just like this is the thing I got to deal with right now on the airplane. Like, some fucking 20-something assholes yelling. Like, just let me, buy my $18 headphones and fall asleep.
Plus, it's like charged with slander for trying to ruin Delta's reputation.
Oh, they will. They will. Plus, the thing that tipped me off when I first heard about it was like, anyone that says, well, I was talking to my mom, they're full of shit. Like, that's what you would say when you're a kid and you get caught, like, masturbating in class. You're like, no, I was fucking... I was making an easel for my mom. Like, you throw the mom thing out the phone and goes, oh, shit, man.
What kind of family do you come from? Like, that's the question I would ask that student.
And also, why are you carving wood underneath the desk? Like, what are you doing?
That's a weapon. You're fucking expelled.
Yeah,
it's such a weird story, though.
Yeah, it's been entirely shit, because I kept seeing it on Facebook pop up over and over again, and at first I didn't know anything about it, and then today I heard through Philip DeFranco that it's complete bullshit, and he kept taking all the screenshots of these tweets, even the video that he had up about that, the title and description changed, like, in a matter of minutes. It was crazy.
I saw it from everyone's favorite internet cuck, Mundane Matt. He posted a video about it, and it even had the actual video in it. So I was like, man, this guy's a dick. And then they had the whole press release at the end. So this whole race baiting shit, it's getting weird. We're in a weird political climate. I mean, people are fucking looting and rioting over the presidency. People are calling all this bullshit. It's no surprise that there's all these race-related issues and shit, because everyone's just like fucking poking the bear at every angle. And shit's gonna blow up literally or figuratively.
Well, then you have fucking fucknuts like this asshole who, clearly, found a little bit of success on YouTube or whatever, mainly because, he has no real talent, so he does these shitty little prank things, and that's the other side of the online culture, the whole it's a prank bro bullshit, and then they are so surprised when shit blows up in their face, and it's like, first you need someone to kick your ass, and two, don't fucking act like you didn't know this shit was gonna happen. It's like, fuck you. Stop making shit worse, or even making it shitty in the first place.
And this is not the right week to do it, because they just had that attack in Germany, remember?
Exactly.
Yeah, they did.
And that guy fits the description of the asshole on the plane. So I mean, what was his name? Adam Sala or something?
Yeah.
Dude, you picked the worst week to pull this bullshit. I hope your YouTube channel just fades off into obscurity, and you don't try this dumb shit again.
I honestly hope he gets charged with something and has to go to fucking court and pay a fine or go to jail.
Yeah,
Because then for it to be a prank and to be this whole thing, I mean, a lot of pranksters on YouTube will then fucking wake up and be like, oh, maybe we should be careful and not do this shit this way anymore.
Inciting a riot. I mean, he could have caused serious issues on a plane.
Yeah. Well, that just happened before. There I can't remember the name of their group. It's like Troll Bait or some whatever their bullshit channel was, where they actually were pretending to rob stores and shit. And they did it in like in an art gallery or something. And one lady actually got trampled. And they ended up getting serious time for it. But it's like, motherfuckers, if you just live with the fact that you're not talented, because coming up with dumb shit like little fake pranks just is a bad idea for you, people involved, and for everyone else that's got to deal with your fucking bullshit.
Well, he did another video where he was counting down in Arabic on a plane, which, and apparently that didn't do anything, and he's like, well, I'm going to do something else. It's like you're dealing with the TSA and dealing with Homeland Security and some real government bullshit at that point. It's just like, I mean, the worst thing that could happen to him is he's on a no-fly list. The least amount of anything that could happen to him is he's on a no-fly list. But the worst thing that could happen to him is he gets charged with, terrorism and goes to Guantanamo and has to live his life out over there.
And then when he's in Guantanamo, how's he gonna fuck any goats?
I think he might get shot if he keeps pulling dumb shit like this. Like, he'll try it somewhere.
Something bad's gonna happen, man. I mean, one of these fucking dummies is gonna do something, and of course all the fucking bleeding hearts on the internet. Oh man, he was this young, and it's like, no, you keep fucking poking the bear, and eventually the shit's gonna bite you back.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So let's get on to some happier news. A movie we all liked, Rogue One, just passed $200 million. It's only the 5th film to do so domestically in such a short time, and the other films are Batman v Superman, Iron Man 3, The Hunger Games Catching Fire, and The Dark Knight Rises.
Rogue One didn't even cross that? Or not Rogue One. Episode 7 didn't reach that?
No, Episode 7 had like the highest opening ever with like $245 million.
Okay, so it just jumped there right away.
Yeah, like the Avengers, the first one was over $200 million its first weekend.
Okay.
But Dustin, you got some news. You're our resident reporter. What's up?
Sure, so Legendary Pictures, who recently purchased the rights to Frank Herbert's Dune, which is the best-selling science fiction book of all time, is reportedly in talks with a rival director, Dennis, some foreign last name, to help the forthcoming pick, according to Variety. That director is also directing the forthcoming Blade Runner 2049, which is a sequel to Ridley Scott's cult classic that starred Harrison Ford, and he previously directed a highly acclaimed Sicario. Have you guys ever read the Dune books?
No, but I saw
have.
the movie and it's a piece of shit.
Oh, the movies are garbage. It's one of my favorite book series of all time. I'm working through book 4 right now, and I was really disappointed because I love David Lynch, and I went to watch that, and I shut it off in the middle. I don't normally do that. I'm not one of those people that, it's not like the book, so I hate it. But seriously, it shit on the book to the point where even I was just like, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the movie at the beginning of this year, and I mean, I liked the movie, honestly. Like, I thought it was really interesting and cool and different. But I've never.
Well, I know. Wasn't David Lynch's original script for Dune? It would have been around like a 14-hour movie or some shit.
No, that was Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Okay, yeah. And at that point, it's like if it's based on a book like that, you just
the book is like 798 pages. So to somehow condense that into 2 hours,
right?
How can you do it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, make it a series. I mean, make it, do one movie and cut that shit up. But yeah, that's, best when Hollywood was starting the whole, we are recognizing these trends and we're just gonna ignore them. So fuck you guys.
He fucking passed on Return of the Jedi to make Dune.
Yeah.
Imagine a David Lynch Return of the Jedi. That could have been the best Star Wars movie ever.
Oh, he wouldn't have.
Have you seen that on YouTube? Have you seen the David Lynch cut of Return of the Jedi?
No.
It's like a little fan video. It's like 5 minutes, and they take clips from Jedi and do it in the style of Lynch, and it's really interesting.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
looking at my Return of the Jedi poster right here, and I'm thinking to myself, Return of the Jedi is a decline in quality, but man, it could have been the best one.
Yeah.
Fucking when they focus on the goddamn toy sales, man. It's just like, even though it's one of my favorites, obviously for story wise, and that lightsaber battle is still amazing, but
it's the best. It's the best duel to me, or second best duel.
It's fucking, it's a David Lynch. I mean, he never would have went with the whole Ewok shit. Like, he would have had, he might have went with the whole Kashyyyk thing, the Wookiees. He would have had stormtroopers murdering and burning fucking villages. It would have been sweet.
Yeah, and a Wookiee battle would have been way. I mean, yeah, we got it in episode 3, but it would have been a nice way to close out episode 6.
Right.
Dustin, what other news do you have?
So another Star Wars related news, Saw Gerrera, who I swear to God everyone kept calling Sol Gerrera in Rogue One. I swear to God that's what they called him.
Just like Han Solo?
Yeah, Han and Han and Leia and Leia. He's heading to Star Wars Rebels TV series for at least 2 episodes, and that's according to Entertainment Weekly. Gerrera originally appeared in the animated Clone Wars series as a much less paranoid but equally fierce terrorist. That episode debuts on January 7th.
I tried watching Rebels once. Never again.
Yeah, from what I've read, everyone says it's kind of like Clone Wars, where the first and second season were kind of weak and childish, and then as it's progressing, it's getting darker. That's what I've heard. I watched the Spark of the Rebellion movie with my kids. Not entertained. I think it contradicts a lot of the lore, but whatever.
What about you, Dion?
I mean, I saw I think it was the season finale of Rebels, where Ahsoka from Clone Wars walks in at the very end of the episode or something. And whatever the kid's name is fighting the villain and all that shit. It's obviously not as good as Clone Wars for me. It was interesting. It's not. It's interesting enough to where I keep saying, yeah, I should watch that, but not interesting enough for me to actually do it. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm binge watching a lot of other bullshit right now, but it's one of those things where I'm not interested enough to actually sit down and power through it yet. So
how's Westworld treating you?
I actually haven't watched Westworld yet. I haven't seen it. I heard it's supposedly really good. We'll see how that shit is.
Do you have HBO Go?
No, I don't. I usually just go over to my mom's or stream the shit online.
I would say you and I should get into that show when I come visit next week.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Watch
all the Marvel movies and we'll watch some Westworld.
Hell yeah, man. Dustin, what's next?
My problem with Clone World, God, mixing up Clone Wars and Rebels is how many fucking Jedi are in those shows. When supposedly by the time we get to Episode 4, there's only Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Right.
Like, I don't like how there's all these people with different style lightsabers and different classes. I don't know. To me, that just muddies up the whole, you're our last hope. No, there's another. Like, oh, no, there's actually fucking 24 other ones.
Yep, I agree with you on that 100%.
No, I'm with you on that one. I mean, that's what, especially when reading the books, what was so cool was that it was literally, for a long time, just Luke and in the New Order of Jedi. I'm okay with a couple Jedi, but having all these different. I mean, it makes sense that not all of them got wiped out, and some of them would get away. But to have, not to mention, you have Anakin's former fucking Padawan. Apparently, he had a Padawan, and then she's still alive. It's like, when are we gonna get down to loosening some of these fucking ends that you guys are so into opening? That's my whole problem. Is like, my patience only lasts so long with that shit.
Well, when he brought on as a Padawan, he wasn't a master, so how did that work out?
Right. He doesn't become a master until Episode 3. Even then, he's not a real master.
Yeah.
But even I know that before anyone on the internet starts fucking around, Obi-Wan wasn't a master when he had just been made one after Qui-Gon died, but that's because they were so obsessed with making Anakin, and Ahsoka isn't fucking Anakin.
Well, no, but he still achieved the rank of master before they gave him a Padawan. Like, it was boom, boom, one after another. Whereas Anakin... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. I was just saying the trials were when he beat Darth Maul.
Right.
Yeah. So, whatever. Moving on. Thor Ragnarok will indeed take place on planet Hulk, and that's according to the website Total Film. The planet, also known as Sakaar, is described by director Chinese name as, quote, just an insane, far-off, futuristic place. Sakaar was hauled down to the ground during the original Marvel Comics war after being blasted off into space by the Illuminati to make the Civil War fight fair for both sides. That film hits theaters on November 3rd, 2017.
I will be there opening night.
I'm excited as shit because I love World War Hulk. I'm sure they won't go with the whole him being blasted off in the space bit, but I'm fucking excited.
Well, Marvel hasn't disappointed me yet, so there's no reason for me not to be excited.
Well, I remember the bit of news, I can't remember what episode it was, but when they were saying that it was going to be, they wanted to be the weirdest of the movies, I would love to see like a Ragnarok / World War Hulk thing going on, for them to expand more on that whole rivalry between Thor and Hulk, man. Especially after how awesome Doctor Strange was, I'm drinking the fucking Kool-Aid right now.
Yeah, that movie was fucking awesome. What a great way for Marvel to end the year.
Dude, oh my god. Like, especially, I don't know, man, just that whole outside the box side of I mean, even with Civil War, I mean, like, kind of bending how we see these heroes in this universe is fucking working really well.
Yeah, next week's show we'll talk about our favorite movies of 2016, so make sure you come back for that.
Fuck yeah.
Dustin, what else do you have?
Well, speaking of Marvel Civil War, the original writer for that comic miniseries, Mark Millar, recently said on his blog that the film version, quote, had a good opening 20 minutes, but then I honestly can't remember what the movie was about. He then went on to say, it's interesting the Russos have a background in comedy because it's really missing in these otherwise well-made pictures and very, very missed. I really hope this bleakness doesn't extend into their two Avengers pictures because what made the first two work was the light as well as the shade, and I'll be sad if that's all lost like it was in this picture.
Fuck you, Mark Millar. You're not that great of a writer.
Plus, there was, and we talked about this before, I thought there was plenty of little comic moments in Civil War. I mean, come the fuck on. Did you just not watch the movie and you're coming up with some bullshit to say?
Yeah,
so
but
people think you watched the movie?
Even then, it's Civil War. Like, it was supposed to be really dark, and it's like, you're dividing the group. I'm sorry they didn't have jokes and slap each other on the ass, but it was a really like dark moment in the whole Marvel thing. Like they were trying to sign the treaty and half were like, yeah, let's do it. Half were like, no, I don't want to do it. So it was very dark and just like what's going to happen. And then they had their fight and they're split up and it's not a good thing.
I think Mark Millar's just upset because the movie turned out better than the comic book in many ways.
Yeah, he sounds real butthurt.
It's like, look, Mark, I've read most of your major Marvel work. I think you did Old Man Logan too, which is probably your best story from there. Anyway, my point is, don't be upset that they took something that you wrote, you probably didn't get a royalty check, and they turned it into something epic. And as a Marvel fan, I laughed a lot of the time in Civil War. I don't get how everyone says it's so bleak. The whole fucking battle at the German airport was hilarious.
Or even when, just the whole, every scene with fucking Bucky and Falcon was awesome. It was.
Can you move your seat up? No.
Yeah, I hate you. Like that was shit. You couldn't do that earlier. Like that shit was hilarious. Like two dudes that had that much chemistry when the last time they saw each other, one was throwing the other one off of a fucking helicarrier. Come the fuck out. That's awesome.
No, the funniest part was when that bitch ass Iron Man got his ass whooped at the end.
Oh, I do love that part. Really.
That is.
I'm trying to dig at Dion because Dion's tastes suck and clearly Captain America's.
Well, at least I ain't tasting dick. Shut up.
Wow, that derailed rather quickly. Justin, Dion, did you read Age of Ultron the comic?
Yeah. Oh, I had that one.
Did Mark Millar write that?
You know what? Let me pull it out. Hold on.
Because I'm thinking to myself, like, who wrote Age of Ultron? Oh no, Brian Michael Bendis wrote it. He's okay. A lot of these big Marvel writers.
It was Bendis.
I think a lot of the Marvel writers suck nowadays because they're like, it's like, oh, this is just Bendis or Ed or so and so, Ed Brubaker. I'm just gonna read whatever these guys put out. It's like, no, man. I go on a story-to-story basis. I don't find, with the exception of a guy named Mark Waid, I don't find many writers that I can follow and enjoy everything they're putting out. Even Alan Moore has a lot of hiccups, in my opinion.
No, yeah, I don't think that's unfair or anything. That's a
well, I'm saying a lot of comic book fans are like, they glom onto these writers and they're like, oh my god,
and I think
everything he does
a lot of
is
people
perfect.
who don't actually read a whole lot of and again, Frank Miller has come up with a lot of stories, but not everything he fucking does is gold. I mean, that's probably the biggest example. I love The Dark Knight Returns, but Ronin doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like, I understand if it's a movie, people assume that everything that they've done is good, and that's not always the case.
Like, I like a lot of Frank Miller's work because I don't get offended at, like, mildly sexist comments in a fictional book about a man that dresses up as a bat. Like,
right.
Oh my god, her tits popped out. It's a fucking... Look, if you're offended by a fucking drawing, reassess your life. Secondly, if you have enough time okay, here's a quick piece of news. Did you hear that the UN had appointed Wonder Woman as his fictional ambassador, and that all these idiot social justice warriors complained and cried and had him revoke the status for Wonder Woman? She's no longer this ambassador of peace.
What was their reasoning for complaining?
Because she's too fit and
because they were drinking coffee at Starbucks using Daddy's credit card. That's why.
I swear to God, as long as there's an SJW plight on the world of entertainment, there's going to be a world-class bullshitters to just take him down a peg and make fun of him at every corner. And this week, I heard that story and I went, really, what the fuck? Like, comic books, man, that's part of the reason why I don't want to be associated with the comic book industry. It's like, these people are so dumb and they cater to this, like, percentage of a percentage, and they're like, oh, we don't want to offend these bloggers or these idiots that don't even buy our fucking products.
Exactly.
And they don't even put out good products, man. Like, this week, Power Rangers versus Justice League came out. That's the thing.
What?
Yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the Justice League of America. Like, that's a real comic book. We are living in some stupid times. Yeah. Oh. Real quick, though, a listener asked, I forgot his name, he wanted us to talk about death in comic books. I figure while we're right here, we'll just bring it up. He was talking about Gwenpool and Spider-Gwen and all these characters that come back to life. Listener that I forgot your name and I apologize. I think it's stupid that they bring back all these dead characters because they've run out of ideas. Because you have hack writers like Dan Slott who just, oh, I'm going to go into this Spider-Man index. Oh, hey, we're going to bring back this or we're going to do that. It's like, look, it's garbage, okay? If you can get me, Jeff Hicks, to stop reading Spider-Man comics, which you have done, you are fucking up, okay? Like, I don't even read that shit anymore. And it's for stupid publicity stunts and shit. Dion, I know you're pickier when it comes to reading comics than I am. Like,
Right.
What are you looking forward to right now?
There's, man, not a whole lot. Really, for a while, I was looking forward to Secret Wars, and then I read it, and I didn't like it that much, and it's just, at this point, I'm not at the point where I'm not reading. I'm trying to stay with a lot of, lesser, like lesser known stuff, and I'm trying to branch out into my comics because I'm just so tired of Marvel and DC and just all this bullshit of trying to widen our audience. Like, at this point, you're trying to reach people that don't read comic books, and if they do it because they watched the movie, they read a few issues for 2 months, and they're done. Like, you're not expanding the brand any. You're just fucking changing things in very dumb ways to appease dumb people who don't really give a shit, while you're alienating people who fucking have read comic books for damn near their entire lives. And it's fucking, not to mention, coming up with Spider-Gwen because you can't make a new character is fucking dumb. Like, just fucking dig down and fucking come up with a new character that's fascinating. Like, don't come up with shit because you're just copy and pasting stuff. I hate
or better yet, collaborate with other writers and make something good. So just having one guy write it, have 2 guys or 3 guys write it.
Well,
Right.
what it boils down to in comic books now is nobody wants to come up with anything too creative at the big companies because the big companies own it. So what these people do is they just kind of fucking languish at like Marvel and DC. They just kind of hang out there, do their whatever work and get paid, and then they go to these creator books where their big ideas come out. And sometimes you get Kingsman Secret Service. I think that was a Mark Millar story. You know what? I take back talking complete shit about him. He wrote Kingsman, which is amazing. But then sometimes you get dumb shit. Like some of those Robert Kirkman books aren't that amazing. Like Walking Dead. Nick, you know how we feel about The Walking Dead.
Oh, yes, I do.
And by the way, those comments we're getting on The Walking Dead are just pissing me off. That video still. God. You guys are a bunch of pretentious assholes. Motherfucker, he just said how he agrees with us, but he doesn't agree how he said it. Tough shit, dude. We're all about the underlying message, not about, the nuance that we didn't use to please you, my good
No,
sir.
like one thing I love in the comments of that video is everyone's like, "Oh, you should read the comics." It's like I don't fucking want to. The show sucks. The comics probably aren't that much better, nor am I going to invest time and money into that, and then just be disappointed when the show comes up every week and it's a piece of shit. Like, I'm not going to do that to myself.
Well, to any listener that watches that video and says, why don't you read the comics? I read the first 100 issues. Once they killed Glenn in issue, I think it was 100 or 102, and Negan appeared, I quit reading it because Glenn's my favorite character. Like, hey, I got to see my favorite character's eyeball bulge out of his head. Well, I'm done because there's nothing else I'm invested in. Rick is missing a hand, and Carl's missing an eye. It's a bleak fucking comic book. It's not that great,
Yeah, I just don't care.
Well, that was the world's biggest detour. Dustin, do you have any more news?
Yeah, so kind of a reverse of the Marvel Civil War story. John Wick is crossing over into comic books. In another story from Entertainment Weekly, Dynamite Entertainment has announced that they're teaming up with Lionsgate to release the books, which will tell new stories about the titular character and will be an expansion on the John Wick universe rather than straight adaptations of the movies. There's no official launch date for the comics, but John Wick Chapter 2 will be released February 10th, 2017 in theaters.
I hope it's as good as the first one.
Yeah, that's all I'm really hoping for, is it just for it to be as good as the first one. And I mean, the comics I'm interested in because there could be some cool backstory stuff that they could expand on, more about like how much of a badass he was back in the day and things like that. So I'm interested in that.
I'm interested because they said Dynamite Entertainment, and they hold the license to James Bond, which is an amazing comic book, by the way. Do a crossover when you run out of ideas. John Wick meets James Bond. I buy all the James Bond comics as it is. I'll go buy that book.
But would you do like would they work together, or would it be John Wick versus James Bond?
Well, one of them's gonna have to die if you do that. So just team them up because you can't. James Bond, you can't kill him, and you can't really kill John Wick because you have a new fucking amazing character in the making. Like, this is Keanu Reeves' swan song. Yeah, he had the Matrix, but after he did the Matrix, he kind of just he had a steep decline. He did Constantine. Whoop-de-doo. That really didn't change his career. He had a bunch of weird movies, and then John Wick came out. Now he's like in the fucking spotlight again.
Yeah.
So let's hope it's good. I mean, I'm all about good comic books.
Well, speaking of good,
true. That's very true.
I'm glad you brought that up so we can easily transition to the last news story. Speaking of awesome comic books, the original Ghostbusters are returning to comic book form. Yep, and they're bringing with them the 2016 crew. The series is Ghostbusters 101.
Stop. Don't even finish the story.
And the plot description reads, shortly after the classic Ghostbusters decide to get back to their roots of teaching the next generation of Busters, an interdimensional mishap merges together their universe with that of the new crew.
Oh, fuck no.
Paranormal Police. Now, with the fate of 2 dimensions in the balance, maybe more, can these distinctly different teams come together to repel the greatest supernatural challenge any of them have ever faced? They're going to have to find a way, if there's any hope for survival, prepare for mass hysteria of the dogs and cats living together variety, because this time everyone answers the call.
Hey, they're like us, but they're only chicks. That's creative.
All I wanted to see in the comic book is like the portal to open, the chicks to come through, and then the original Ghostbusters to blast their fucking heads off. That's what I want to see.
Who was the big one? I thought it was Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. No, it was Melissa McCarthy. Like, that would be... if they had the balls to put that in a comic book, I'm buying it. I'll buy a copy for everybody in my family, and you guys. I'll be like, hey, guys, watch Melissa McCarthy get proton packed away by fucking Bill Murray.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Dustin, I have a bad sinking feeling that if this comic book is successful, that's the movie they're going to make next.
Ugh.
Yeah, man, it's
yeah, but even then, like, are they gonna CG face everybody like they did like they did some of the people in the Rogue One? I mean, is that what's gonna happen in that movie? Even then, are they gonna spend another $300 million to try to bring up the those movies again?
Hey, if you lost $70 million, why not go for 100?
Yeah, man. Jeez. Let's have another fucking Heaven's Gate on our hands or something like that. Just a huge loss.
Shit.
No, I mean Sony.
That dude died too this year.
I always appreciate mass suicide jokes.
Well, you're welcome. I aim to please.
Thank you.
No, but Sony is just, man, they suck. Like, they own 2 properties that I'm interested in, and they're fucking up everything else. They own James Bond, which I think they just distribute. They don't really make. So either way, whatever. And Spider-Man could be good, but right now I'm thinking it's going to suck this year, so I'm worried. I am so worried. But...
Yeah, because from that commercial, they're playing like the teen angst thing real heavy. Like, real heavy.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I've said on 50 fucking episodes of World Class Bullshitters, I'm not a teenager. I don't pine for high school. I didn't peak in high school. My life's been better since high school, so I don't want to watch a fucking dweeby white kid in New York and his cast of brown friends be like, hey, diversity, Spider-Man, haha, jokes. Like, fuck you people. Make a good story. You had good Spider-Man movies. I'm not getting on that rant tonight. I don't want to break anything. Dustin, I swear to God, if this comic book... Wait, is this real, or did you make that up?
No, that was real.
God damn it,
real.
I was hoping you'd say I made it up.
No, I like
You know what would be a fun segment to do? Is you read your news stories and you come up with a fake one and see if we can determine which one's fake.
Starting next week.
Perfect. Oh my God, that's. I think that's going to be a great segment. Even the listen. We'll let the listeners try to guess which one's fake or not.
Good deal.
And we'll tell them the following week, so that'll get you hooked to come back. That's the World Class Bullshitters crack cocaine. So. That is the news for this week. Let's give a quick shout out to a new super fan, Joseph Dooley. Joseph, you have joined our Facebook groups. You've watched most all of our videos. I appreciate the support. And, I hope you continue to enjoy World Class Bullshitters into the new year. Also, a shout out to Realities Frank. He posted in our Facebook group a picture of him in front of his Christmas tree wearing the official World Class Bullshitters t-shirt.
Nice.
Frank, it is the most handsome t-shirt I've ever seen. I'm sure that your stock with the ladies has risen tenfold, and I hope 2017 is your most banged out year ever.
Make sure that if you get laid wearing that shirt, take a selfie. Send it.
Yeah.
Or a video, whatever.
Yeah, man. I mean, we have a Pornhub account, so we can put, That would be amazing if we had of-age listeners send us selfie videos of them fucking in our world-class bullshit
Don't
t-shirts.
even open that motherfucking door. I don't want any fucking videos of dudes getting blowjobs. The last thing I want is, I'm 16, she's 15. Nope. Click.
I need 31.
Notice I had a disclaimer of legal age. Talk about building a brand. You built your brand through cum shots. Like, that's weird.
Oh, no, we need to start doing porn commentary like we talked about.
That'll be our big new project for 2017.
Deal.
So, let's get into the main feature tonight. I don't really have a debate because I don't. And, fuck me, right? Anyway, let's talk about Christmas. Christmas is here. People go nuts for Christmas. Phil's wearing a big red sweater with Chris Jericho's head on it that says Merry Christmas on it. So let's just talk about some of our favorite Christmas memories, our favorite, Christmas movies, songs, all that other bullshit. Maybe, we'll do like a Wonderful Lifestyle thing where, at the end of the episode we realize how great Christmas truly is because Nick hates it right now. I don't know. I'm just winging this. So, Dion, Nick, Dustin, do you guys have any great Christmas memories that you'd like to share with the listeners?
Oh, of course, man. I mean, I think one of my favorite Christmases is when I got a bunch of Star Wars, Matrix, and like action figures. I got the AT-AT Walker, and I got the little Rebel pilot. That was one of my favorite toys. I remember coming down and seeing that that's the first thing I saw, obviously. It was the biggest thing. And I lost my shit, man. Absolutely lost my shit. And I only played with that thing for fucking hours. God damn, that's probably my favorite Christmas. And now it's mainly me drinking with my sister and my mom and Hillary and watching my fucking kids run around shitting themselves and acting fucking crazy.
That's how it's supposed to be, man. Evolution.
I fucking absolutely love it.
Nick, do you have any good memories of a Samoan holiday?
Yeah, I remember getting the N64 for Christmas, and not knowing I was getting it, hoping I was, and then immediately plugging it into my TV and playing with my brother and my cousins and everybody, and just that's all we did for the rest of the night. And my parents, my aunts and uncles were real happy because we were all quiet, and, not really quiet, but we were all in a room together. They could keep track of us better.
Sounds more like a prison than a fucking family gathering.
Hey, N64 was awesome. You shut your mouth, okay?
How many prisons have Nintendo 64s? One in Samoa. I'll just chime in real quick. I actually got both of those gifts that you guys got for a Christmas. 97, I got the AT-AT Walker, which is in my closet, and I liked it. I played with it quite a bit. But it never was as cool as the Millennium Falcon. And then, I got the N64 the following year for Christmas, and it was my favorite system. And GoldenEye is my favorite video game, and that's all I did for like a year straight was play GoldenEye. It was kind of
God damn.
Yeah, you do not understand. Like, I loved James Bond as a little kid, and then it's like, here's a video game where you can be James Bond. So I played it I probably played through that game like 400 times.
Oh, jeez.
I know every detail of every level,
I bet you do.
Except the fucking floor pattern in the Egyptian level. I still don't have that memorized.
Give it time. Take another year and just do that. You'll have memorized.
Do nothing but that for a whole year.
Oh.
Justin?
Yeah, so I can't remember the exact year, but I always grew up pretty close to my cousin Ty, because I was an only child at the time, so he was like a brother to me, and we spent a lot of time with my grandma. And I remember one Christmas, he'd open up an episode 6 Luke Skywalker, and then I'd open up my present, and it was an episode 6 Luke Skywalker. And then he'd open up a gift, and it was the 3-pack for the Bounty Hunters. It was Boba Fett, Bosk, and IG-88. And I opened up my present, and it was Boba Fett, Bosk, and IG-88. And then he opened up this big one. It was the Millennium Falcon. And then I opened up a big one, and it was the Millennium Falcon. And then he opened up about 20 more presents, and I didn't get any anymore. And I realized my grandma was a fucking bitch and lied every time that she said she loved us equally.
I love that so much.
You know what's funny is my grandma. I'm the only grandkid my grandma gives a gift to.
Oh,
she's
Robert,
like, she's like, don't tell anybody in the family. Well, I'm not worried about telling anybody in the family because my family sure as shit doesn't listen to this podcast. So, you know, whatever. It's not like they're gonna go at Christmas and be like, hey, I heard Grandma gave you a gift on your podcast. Who fucking listens to my show? Like, nobody. I told him once I have a podcast. They're like, what's a podcast? I said, it's 2016. How do you not know what a podcast is? I said, we have thousands of listeners. Like, real people listen to our show every week. And they're just like, oh, they can't process what we've accomplished in this year. So, family of mine, I got a gift and you didn't. Fuck off. Dustin, I never got the Bounty Hunter 3-pack as a kid.
No, and as a matter of fact, that Christmas I actually got 3 copies of it because I asked my mom and both my grandmas for it, and they all got it for me, so I had fucking just clones of everyone. And that's before I knew what the Clone Wars were, so I had...
I was just laughing.
Oh, no, that was the end of my story. The end.
Oh, I was just laughing. You're like, oh, awkward silence. I had a Boba Fett figure. I gotta say, I was one of those. I was an only child, so lucky me. But my mom was cool. She would pick me up Star Wars figures like every couple days. Mm-hmm. So it was like, hey, I was at Walmart. Here's Lando Calrissian. Here's R2D2. I know you need this one. I know you need that one. It got to a point. It's like, here's regular Chewbacca and Bounty Hunter Chewbacca with a flat top. It's like, okay.
I loved those Challenge of the Empire toys. I loved those. You had Luke dressed up as a Crimson Guard. You had Dash Rendar. You had Prince Shizer, whatever the fuck his name was.
That was the only way you could get Princess Leia in her Return of the Jedi disguise.
Yeah, as Bosk or whatever.
Bausch or whatever it is. I don't even know how to pronounce. The thing is, I think these toy companies came up with these names because in the movie it's never. They call her Bounty Hunter. And then it's me, Leia, and that's it. Was I the only kid here that had the Princess Leia in the gold bikini action figure?
Yes. No, I had it too. I got it from a comic book store.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I feel weird owning it. Well, I own 2 of them, like the new version and the old version. But I was like, I kind of want to get each version of each character from all the movies. So
and how it really wasn't giant toy orgies when I was 8 without Princess Leia in her slave outfit.
Well, I mean, yeah, at least you don't have like 18 versions of her in her slave outfit. That's then we'd have to be worried about you.
Well, at least the Power Rangers aren't gangbanging her, so the Pink Ranger's asshole can take a little break. Hey, speaking of Power Rangers, did you guys see the new Goldar?
No, I didn't.
He looks like shit. He looks like a scarab bug from The Mummy.
God damn it.
Oh, I went to see Rogue One again in the last couple of days, and they had the Transformers trailer and then the Power Rangers trailer immediately after it, and it looked exactly the same.
Oh, God damn it. That movie, look it. I don't want to see it, and I'm not going to pay, but if listeners buy at least 2 t-shirts of World Class, somebody buys 2 World Class Bullshitters t-shirts before that movie comes out, I will take that money, I will buy a Power Rangers movie ticket, and I will rant on it, because that's how this works. Right?
Can we offer them an alternate route to make that happen?
What's that?
So, you know how you had a fan put your head on the Punisher?
Yeah.
And so, if you guys want to make fan art for us, we'll do the same thing. If you will Photoshop all of our heads onto a group gangbanging Melissa McCarthy, Jeff will buy a ticket. And,
yes, I will.
We will post that shit everywhere. Please do that.
It. So, one of you people out there, I don't know who did the last one, thank you for that. But if you want to do it again, Jeff will go see that movie because of your hard work.
I think it was Silver Wings 21 or Silver. I think that was his name. By the way, I was blown away that within 2 days of the Legend of the Hicks, there was a fucking Punisher poster exactly like we described it.
That was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
I feel like we've made it.
I'm still waiting for your head to be on the Bigfoot footage. That's what I'm waiting for.
I'll shit my pants if somebody goes to the effort of putting my head on footage of Bigfoot walking and looking at the camera. God. Well, the funny thing is, though, everyone that sees that photo thinks I'm drunk. I wasn't drunk. I just made a weird face. Like, that was me sitting in my old office chair going, ooh, or whatever. So, maybe I always look drunk. That's my secret. Dion, I'm always drunk. I'm trying to think. Power
Well,
Rangers was a big part of my Christmas. A lot of them. God damn.
Oh yeah, I remember
93, 4, and 5.
my brother got all the individual things to build a big robot. That was fun.
The Megazord?
Yeah, the Megazord. Thank you.
Don't be throwing out big robot and shit. Just disrespect the goddamn.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you, yeah.
I forgot the name. I didn't want to.
Megazord sequence has been initiated.
Okay.
Well, Nick, I mean, this isn't like I'm trying to brag, but Christmas '93, I shit you not, I got every Power Ranger, like not the little ones, like the big ones, the full size, Megazord, Dragonzord, Titanus, and that came, and the Dragonzord came with the Green Ranger, and it was phenomenal. Like, I went from having no Power Ranger toys to every one that existed. It was the best Christmas ever. So, and then the next year I got the Command Center and the Thunder Megazord. And then I got the Ninja Megazord the following year, and that was the end of Power Rangers. That shit died off quick.
Yeah,
Like-
it did.
Like, Phil, he likes to buy Power Ranger stuff every once in a while. I'm kind of like, I've grown up. It was great. I loved it as a kid. I have great memories of it. I still feel warm and fuzzy when I hear the theme song. But, like, I don't know, man. This new movie is just...
Well, do you guys
It's
have, do you guys
supposed to be
have
for us.
do you guys have any like family rituals where like you'll do a certain type of food or everybody will cook or you'll have a movie playing in the background that's the same thing every year? Does anybody have that?
Oh yeah, I mean we always watch the two movies we have to watch on Christmas at my mom's because she used to live in a really small town. Then she moved really close to me. So she's obviously being 10 minutes away. I'll take my TV. I'll take a bunch of shit over there. But we always, as we're drinking those first few nights, we always watch Die Hard and we always watch Lethal Weapon, which is fantastic 'cause I love those movies. And then we'll usually continue on with both series, but we always watch those two movies specifically.
Can you adopt me? Because my family hates each other, and they don't really like to go to Christmas.
You're now adopted. Boom, it's done.
All right, cool.
Telling
Cool.
you.
I'm gonna come over to your house. We're gonna drink. We're gonna watch Lethal Weapon. I love, like last year. I apologize for not being well versed in Lethal Weapon because you remember how you said you saw Die Hard for the first time on TV and it was like censored, but you watched it because it was on TV.
Right.
That's how I saw Lethal Weapon 2 or 3 as a kid, and I couldn't get over Mel Gibson's mullet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the fact that it was on TV and whatever. But going back and watching it as an adult, that's the most consistent movie series. No, seriously, that is the most consistent movie series. There's not a bad film in the list. James Bond, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Back to the Future all have a weak entry. Lethal Weapon is just a fucking straight trajectory of quality. They bring back the cast every time. It's the same director. They all want to be there. It's a phenomenal franchise. God damn it, I love it.
I told you, man. And not to mention for me, obviously, being able to damn near quote each movie, not as much as Star Wars, but damn near. The joke that we had, especially around the holidays, was that that Danny Glover was my real dad because for the longest time, they looked alike, and they were both. And I think Danny Glover was a few years younger than my dad, but they looked so similar that was the joke was that. And then it was funny because my dad would go along. He was like, "Yeah, there was a few months there where I was on a business trip, and you were what the fuck were you doing in 1988?" That was the joke that we had for so long. And even now, even after my dad died, my sister will be saying something about, "Oh, well, we'll just call your real daddy Danny Glover to come and he'll take care of it." That's the joke around the holidays. So,
Dion, is there a party that's hoping against all hope that Danny Glover really is your father? Like he's gonna stand out of your balcony and be like, "Dion, I am your father."
Yes.
And then you just like inherit all that Danny Glover money.
Yep. And then I'll just be like, "Hey, Dad, let's go play some catch." And he'll be like, "I'm too old for this shit."
And then I'm gonna be adopted into the family, so
right. And he'll be like, "Who's this big motherfucker?" I'm like, "That's my brother, Dad." Damn, I'm too old for this shit.
This is what you were doing in 1987. Dustin, do you have any family rituals or anything like that?
Nothing noteworthy. I do want to bring up something. I do remember a specific Christmas. It was Christmas 2001. I just got into wrestling. And every gift I got from my mom was a different Titantron Live figure.
Oh, man.
And the ring and the stage. So I went from having no wrestling toys to probably like a roster of at least 25 all in one day. And so I built my own federation. They had the little microphones, the chairs. I eventually got an announcer's table. That was, for me, stands out in my mind because I got so into wrestling so fast. And my mom just spent all her money on making me happy.
I'm just thinking about how much fun that would be. Like, oh my god. I loved those Titantron live figures. I just remember going to the store seeing them.
Best, dude.
I still got all mine. Look at it.
You've seen mine. They're in my. I have them in that box. Those are the ones I was able to save when my mom moved. Yeah, because I had the jean shorts, the Dixie shorts, Austin 316 T-shirt, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Road Dog. I had X-Pac, Billy Gunn with the Mr. Ass T-shirt on. And then I think my Titantron still fucking works, actually. I got to replace the batteries, but fuck yeah, man.
Dustin, I actually have never received a wrestling gift for Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, everything I've ever bought wrestling-wise, I just buy it throughout the year when I see it. I've never, even back in the day, like, okay, I was the biggest wrestling fan in the world, like, in the year 2000 through, like, 06. I got the games when they first came out. And my mom would buy me, like, The Rock's action figures. Like, we'd got to the store on a Sunday. Oh, there's a Rock in a $500 shirt. Okay. Leopard skin shirt. Okay. Gray suit. Okay. Like, it was just every week was a new figure. Mm-hmm. So, I did get for Easter one year, I got the Trash Talking Stage. That was a fucking cool-ass toy.
Yeah. All wrestling toys back then were cool. I don't know if it was just the age or what, but everything just felt magical.
And it's funny, though, because they always harp on, well, we're PG because of the kids and merchandise. When you were TV-14, I was buying every one of your fucking action figures. I hated X-Pac. I had his toy. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, no, I wanted every wrestler just so I could do what they were doing on TV and have a giant roster of my own. Like, I did the brand split when they did that. So I had 2 stages. I had 2 different rings. Like, I had everything separate. Like, I was consuming wrestling more than I did Star Wars. And Star Wars I was consuming at a huge rate back when I was younger than that. So they used to take a lot of money from me, and now just fuck them.
I don't even pay for the network. Like, I have Dan's information and whatever. Like, it's not, wrestling's not that important to me anymore. As we talk about going to wrestling.
I know. My brother, I think he shares it with like 4 or 5 of his friends, and they'll all chip in money and pay for it. But like, yeah, they don't use it that much anyways. They'll use it for pay-per-views and stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah, we go to Phil's house to watch shows, and while wrestling has brought me together with Dion and Dustin, like, it's garbage nowadays, and I'm not afraid to call it out.
As you should be, because they, it's just so funny when they're trying to broaden its reach and so-called make it cooler, for the little kids. It's when it's the most uncool it's ever been, arguably, and before, when they were trying to just be edgy and just beat the competition, it was the coolest it's ever fucking been. And
here's the realization I had, was back then, like, it was like they were fighting. Like, The Rock and Austin weren't wrestling, and they weren't doing flips, and everything wasn't this, like, smooth choreography. It was just like, oh, these 2 very large men with really good talking skills want to hurt each other, and I want to watch it. And that's not, there are no characters like that anymore. And I'm not saying you have to be Rock or Austin level, but back then it was more fighting than flipping. And now it's completely opposite, and everyone's like, oh, but they're, they're way more athletic, and they're doing all, fine, but that doesn't sell me on a feud. I don't believe these 2 want to hurt each other. I believe they want to, like, do this poetic dance together. Before, you'd spill out of the ring, the ref would let it go. You'd use weapons, you'd fight into the crowd, and that was a common thing. Now it's just like, who can do the most spins in the air before coming down? Like, I don't understand. What happened to wrestling? What happened to men fighting?
Well, I think they weren't confused about what they were trying to be, right? It was the attitude era. We got all these badasses. They do badass shit, and you want to see it, and we're going to give it to you. Now it's, well, we want it to be a friendly show, but one of our pay-per-views is called Hell in the Cell. We want it to be, we want kids to be able to interact with the wrestlers and have a great time with their mom and dad, but you have guys who can't insult one another. You know, you have a show like, we love when little wrestling fans are wearing T-shirts and they're in the front row with their dads and you're having a great time. But your flagship show comes on at fucking, it's on until 11 o'clock at night. Like,
On school night.
They don't know what they want to do. They have no fucking idea what they want to do, and it's clearly visible that they have no idea where they're going with this shit. They really don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, and I'm sure even the network is not yielding them any money because people are just like, at some point, then people are going to watch all the stuff that's on there and just be like, okay, well, I've watched everything, and it's no point, paying $10 a month only to watch the pay-per-view, once in a while. It's not worth it, so.
And their pay-per-views are absolute shit.
So, that.
I watch them. God damn, are they not worth it?
Well, here's something that just hit my head, too, about kids watching. Yeah, you don't want your kids hitting each other, which back in the Attitude Era, in the Ruthless Aggression area, it was just like a lot of striking and just like brute brawling. But I would much rather have my kids emulate those moves back then than trying to jump off my couch and do a front flip. Because that could seriously fuck up your kid if they break their neck or something. So the style of wrestling today that kids are going to watch and want to do is actually way more dangerous than it was back then.
Oh, man, my cousin has so many scars from trying dumb shit like that. It's ridiculous.
And Dustin, to jump off that, look at how many wrestlers get injured because of the way they wrestle nowadays. Seth fucking Rollins is a walking calamity. Oh, this happens. He broke John Cena's nose. He tears his knee. He does this. He does that. That guy is dangerous, And all these stupid moves they try to pull off are dangerous. Look at Finn Balor. Wins the title at not at WrestleMania, but wins that big title at SummerSlam or something.
Yeah, SummerSlam.
Injured that night. Like, what the fuck, dude? Back in the day, you had a guy, they gave him the big push, and then he won the belt, and he was going for a while. Stone Cold, when he won the belt at WrestleMania 14, didn't do some dumb shit to get injured. They kept him protected, and he fucking, wrestled for a year and a half with a broken neck. That's how they did it.
They don't matches were still more entertaining because it felt like a real fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and again, that goes back to that confusion bit. We don't want kids to try this shit at home. We don't want them to try this shit at home. But you want to call a guy the man that gravity forgot. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? Do you either want the kids to do it or you don't want them to do it? Number one. Number two, no matter what you do, kids are going to fucking try it. It's a fucking... Oh, yeah. It's fucking wrestling. Like, what do you think is going to happen? What action that you take is going to stop kids from trying it? What are you going to do that's going to stop wrestling from being violent? It's not... You're not ever going to get Susie Homemaker to think wrestling's good for kids. That's never going to fucking happen. It's not going to happen.
I'd like to argue that back in the day when you would see blood and shit, it would deter you from wrestling because, like, for example, like when you're a kid, you cut your finger or you cut your hand and you bleed, you associate that with pain. So then you see these guys on TV bleeding out of their heads and you're like, well, that's gotta hurt. I don't want to do that.
Oh, of course.
So you think you would associate it with that. It's like nowadays, you get hit with fucking 12 chair shots, or not chair shots, but you get hit with 12 finishers and you get back up. It's like, oh my god, he kicked out of the pedigree 8 times. Well, if you give your little brother a pedigree, you're gonna fucking snap his neck or something. He's done. Like,
God damn it, Dave! Sell it!
Or you're gonna wrestle like I wrestled Dan, where I choke slammed him on the ground as hard as I could.
Oh, jeez.
Well, he deserved it.
Sorry, Dan. You would say he deserved it?
Yeah.
Well, also WWE seems to fire people on a whim when they don't do exactly what they want. So, if a kid is by chance watching and has a favorite wrestler that for one show, and then he's gone the next week, you've lost the attention span.
I agree 100%. Even like back in the day, they would stick with the storyline, even if it kind of sucked. They would see it through. Nowadays, it's like, well, we abandoned it because we dropped ratings in the 10 o'clock hour by a share or some shit like that. It's too corporate.
Oh, yeah.
It's dumb. And then, not to mention all the dumb decisions that they make because of being a corporate company. We hate bullying, and we are going to have a campaign called Be a Star, where we prove to kids that bullying is wrong. But every fucking bad guy you have win championships. oh,
Well,
well,
it's
doesn't
not
work
even
out for them in the
that
end.
guy.
Yes, it fucking does.
Sorry.
It's so stupid.
Well, when the good guys have a problem, instead of talking it out, they just hit the bad guy in the mouth. You
Right.
notice that? The bad guy comes out and starts talking shit instead of the good guy taking the high ground. They just sock him in the face.
Exactly.
Yeah, WWE and this anti-bull, well, they kind of cut it back a bit, but anti-bullying and WWE's retarded because it's a show about fictional fighting, okay? Wrestling is not a show to teach a kid a lesson or, bigger problems in society.
Before you know, they're going to start doing math problems.
They have, like, kids' activity books for wrestling.
Oh, God.
Yeah, wrestling's a fucking joke, but I'm looking at pictures of The Rock versus Triple H. Talk about a fucking feud. God damn. I'm just getting pumped looking at old pictures.
That should have been the main event at 16, too, man.
I agree 100%. Backlash should have happened at WrestleMania 2000. Then The Rock should have just did his thing that year, and it would have been... it would have made the best year in wrestling even better. Okay, so... wow, I loved that wrestling detour, because I feel like that was a natural detour, you know?
Agreed.
Sometimes we get off on tangents and it's like, oh, whatever.
Hey,
well, this one just felt right. Hey, Luke is right, all right? Hey, Luke. So when it comes around Christmas, what kind of movies do you guys watch? I know there's the obligatory It's a Wonderful Life and all that other dumb shit, but what's some of the ones you guys
Hey,
watch?
I love that fucking movie. You go to hell, okay?
Do you really?
No, I don't.
I've never even seen it.
And he got embarrassed.
No, I mean, I've seen it, but I'm just all like something like I watch, on TMC, around Christmas. It doesn't happen. No, the one we always watch and have running in the background is Scrooge and
great movie.
Home Alone.
Great movie as well. I liked. There's a Beavis and Butthead episode that parodies It's a Wonderful Life, and it's phenomenal. And the episode ends with them like dying. No, they die, and the angel is like trying to show them how their life would be, and they're so bad to the angel that the angel kills himself, and they get brought back to life because they can't take care of him in the afterlife. It's like, oh. And then there's a second part where they do the whole Christmas Carol with Beavis and Butthead, and at the end it's Beavis, and he's laying in front of his gravestone. Here lies Beavis, he never scored. That's fucking funny. Why can't we have funny entertainment and not worry about offending everybody? If it offends you, fuck you. Like, just deal with it.
I know.
It's sad.
Because
I'm looking at...
because the 1% of the 1% gets pissed off, and apparently they have enough Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook followers to make a difference.
Bullshit. Fuck you people.
Well, that, and we got fucking someone who's always showing, well, we gotta get on that whole teen heartthrob bullshit. Like, you got dumb networks like fucking CW. Well, let's just have a bunch of supposed good-looking teenagers in it, and we'll show teen angst, and their hair's perfect, and people will give us money for it.
That shit started with Dawson's Creek, motherfucker. Please blame where it's due. Okay? I blame James Vanderbeek.
Not the beak, dude. Come on, not the beak.
James Vanderbeek, my nigga. Oh, God, I love that fucking movie.
The Goods, incredibly underrated.
Salt in theaters, man. My favorite line of the whole movie is when Catherine Hahn's like, if he sells his car, I'll eat my own pussy. Oh, Dustin, you need to see that movie.
I think I saw it in theaters. With you.
Jeremy Piven? With me?
Yeah. I think we saw it when we go to state.
We might have watched it at state, but I'm positive I saw it down here with Eddie and Dan.
No, I saw it in theaters with somebody, and the only one I could think that I saw it with would have been you.
I think the first movie we saw together in theaters was Watchmen.
Fantastic one to start out with.
Yeah, and then we went and we did that whole, like, in 2010, Dion, our marathon of movies. Every Friday we went to a new movie.
Yes, sir. Great times.
A third of them sucked, and a third of them were great. Or
if they were bad, we would just have incredibly hilarious moments of either me or you freaking out in the theater.
When you freaked out when we went to see Easy A, that shit was... The whole theater erupted. I'm like, are you... You went... Okay, listeners, we're sitting there. We got free screening passes to go see Easy A with Emma Stone. And, like, Emma Stone's best friend turns on her or something, and Dion goes, are you fucking kidding me? And the whole theater just bursts into laughter and, like, claps.
God, I was so pissed at that movie. I was shit. And it was funny because I think the majority of people there were from MSU that got those free tickets. And like, I remember the moment where, because we mainly went because of Hillary, because she really wanted to see it, and she's watching it. And I think I was sitting on one side of her, you were sitting on the far side, the other side of her. And I just remember like moving forward and looking at you, and you looked at me, and you just shook your head, and I was like, "We've been broken. We've been broken."
Oh, God.
God, I hate
That
that
movie.
movie. I've never liked Emma Stone since. She's good looking, but I've never liked her since.
Yeah, she's cute, but I hate her movies. Well, I liked Zombieland.
Yeah, I did like.
Wait,
I
did
love Birdman. I'll say I did love Birdman.
Yeah, I bought that on Blu-ray. But Zombieland, just for the record, came out before.
Exactly.
MZA.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Oh,
need any listeners to correct me. Like, there's this guy when we get to the fans comments. He's an idiot. I might not read his name on air, but I'll read his comment. I don't even know if he listens to the show regularly, but he has to tell people when he thinks they're wrong, when in fact he's wrong. I also like to watch, besides Die Hard, and I would watch Lethal Weapon if I owned it, but A Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation. They're probably the obvious choices, but I fucking love those movies.
No, they're great choices. Fucking great choices. I think I've only seen Christmas Vacation once. I know the first time I saw Vacation was when we went to New Orleans, but I always love
I grew up with
when
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase freaks out on the family. That's probably one of the funnier scenes I remember. Especially like it's how true it is. There are moments during the holidays where you just want to look at your friend and be like, just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
Oh god, so many times.
I'm surprised that was the first time you ever saw that movie, Dion.
Yeah, man. For some reason, I didn't have a reason for not seeing it. I just never saw it, and it was great. And I never had a vendetta against it. I don't know, man. I fucked up, Dad.
If we were friends when I was a little kid, you would have definitely seen most of the Chevy Chase movies.
Oh hell,
I've always loved those fucking movies. I said, goddamn Fletch. I found out my copy of Fletch on DVD doesn't work.
What?
What?
Yeah, I went to put it in the other day and it started skipping.
No, that's the fucking.
Do I need to rip off another copy for you and send it to you?
In high def, yes, you do.
I
want to see.
I'll see
I
what
want
I
to see
can find.
exactly where Chevy Chase starts to lose his hair. I mean, I guess I've always liked the Christmas movies that are kind of cynical, because Christmas is great, but Christmas is a lot of work too.
Oh, it is.
Like when you're a little kid, it just kind of happens to you, and you're like, "Oh my God, toys just came from the sky!" Like it was amazing. But as an adult, you're like, "Oh, fuck, I gotta go pick up a gift for so and so. I gotta go get this. I gotta buy this. I gotta make cookies." It's like, and I like those movies that portray the actual aspects of how Christmas really is.
Right. I don't know. My mom has this thing where she likes to watch movies with old actors in it and like mainly about family values, and I hate those fucking movies because a lot of times it's just so much overblown bullshit. And even though I enjoy watching them because they're bad and it's literally just me ripping a movie for 90 minutes. Like one that she loves is like A Christmas Family. I can't remember the name of it, but Delroy Lindo and Loretta Devine and pre-abuse Chris Brown and Columbus Shorter in it, and like there's and Idris Elba's in it too. And there's like a part where one of the sisters' husband happens to be cheating on her, but they came to see the fucking mom, and then like she catches him, and that's like random out of nowhere, and then fucking Idris Elba's a musician and blah blah blah, and Columbus Short, of course, gets into a fight. Who'da thunk? But it's just she always watches those movies, and I'm just like drunk and angry, and then I try to convince her that we should watch like a Marvel movie or the Dark Knight series or something, and we end up doing that instead. So.
Well, you've thoroughly convinced me to never watch that movie.
Oh god. well, one thing I've liked in like last year and this year, we've got these like kind of adult party holiday movies. Like last year we had The Night Before, this year we had the Office Christmas Party, and it's just these drunken like adventures of like Christmas, and I love that, and I think that is way the fuck more fun than anything.
I loved The Night Before. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was a little too Toph-like for me, but either way, I still enjoyed the fuck out of that movie.
Hillary and I watched that. We were just literally we put D2 in bed and we were just drinking and watching that movie. I fucking loved that movie. The fucking Falcon chasing the chick from Broad City was hilarious.
She's like, I'm gonna go out like my boy Hans Gruber. I was like, oh, of course you are.
Yeah.
And then she puts on the little micro machines and he's like, she home alone me. It's like, first of all, those micro machines are probably expensive as hell. Where did she find them? And why did she do that? It's a good movie.
It is.
It is. It's a great movie. Anthony Mackie, I liked his little character arc. Seth Rogen was just Seth Rogen, so whatever.
Well, it was funny though when what's her name, Jillian Hall or whatever, is like his wife, and he's puking in the church, and she's like, you keep that in and you swallow it like a girl, like that. That's my favorite part of that movie.
I love his dream sequence of his daughter being a stripper. That's hilarious.
I'm sorry about Jesus.
As you should be.
Yeah, and I think they filmed that movie in like the dead of summer, like in the middle of July in New York, and they're all in sweaters and giant coats, trying not to get heat stroke.
Is that the one where Michael Shannon's the fucking mystical pot dealer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He's like, and then, what's his name? Seth Rogen. He's like, get the fuck out of my car.
Oh my god, Seth Rogen, man, he makes some good shit.
He is sneaky good. He's not. If he ever became like super mainstream, I'd be like, God, he'd probably start fucking up. Like, just keep it to 2 awesome movies during the year, and you making fun of Kanye West, and we're good.
I agree with that.
Well, what is it? The Disaster Artist is going to come out hopefully sometime soon.
Oh yeah,
God, that's next year.
Yeah, and apparently Tommy Wiseau is going to make an appearance in the movie.
Oh god, he needs to just realize that he's just a joke. People don't take him seriously, and Tommy, chill the fuck out.
Drugs, dude. But if he did do that, I don't think we'd love him as much. Like, I need Tommy Wiseau when he's saying, "Oh, hey, listen, the movie was a joke. When I said it was going to be the next Tennessee Williams, I was just kidding." Like, we need him to try to lie to us, because that's proof positive that this dude is fucking crazy. Like, but if he became sane, he wouldn't have that same gusto. And I need him to think that everyone's dumb enough to believe his dumb shit for me to love him.
Well, we'll talk about that more in a later episode. So, I don't really have much else to say in terms of Christmas, besides I'm feeling festive and I want to get wasted on eggnog and eat way too many fucking cookies.
Fuck yeah.
Like, that's how I want to celebrate Christmas. Just a fucking 18 ounces of butter in my heart, just,
trying to pump through it.
Yeah. So, this past week, we have gained a ton of subscribers, which means a lot of fan mail and a lot of views. So, to the new listeners, the hundreds of you, welcome to World Class Bullshitters. We are the epitome of pop culture. And, we like to have a conversation with our fans and listeners. So, I'm not going to get a chance to read a lot of the Rogue One comments because, god damn it, we have 234 of them, which is a lot. The video has 119 thumbs up and 73 thumbs down. I think a lot of people were expecting us to rip Rogue One a new asshole, but it was a quality movie, and we always are honest with you guys. So, sorry you didn't like that we didn't shit on the movie, But, listen to last year's review, listen to us talk about Ghostbusters. There's a million things we're going to rip on. Wait till Power Rangers comes.
Listen, dog, we try to tell these motherfuckers we are legitimately giving you what we see, and if it's a good movie, it's a good movie. We don't play that frou bullshit. To quote my man Brian Silva.
Oh, I thought that was the quote. Okay.
That was frou lame shit. Yeah, that's all I got.
Oh, I apologize on that one. That was all me. Just a quick few comments. Sig said.
Sorry, do you mind if I take this over really quick?
Yeah.
Because remember before the show I mentioned there was something I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go through a few of these comments really quick and then give like a minute speech, and then you can call me an asshole and take it from there. Deal?
Yeah.
Deal.
Okay.
Asshole.
So David Cowell, he says, you are usually on point with your reviews, but this is way out of line. And I agree, David. Whenever our opinions don't line up with yours, our opinion is wrong. So make sure next week to send us reviews that you want us to do in the future, and then tell us how you want us to do them, and we will make sure to do that. DBV. Everybody loves stupid shit these days and are not smart enough to make their own decisions on things. He used the wrong form of there. Stormbringer 2012 said, "You suck ass." And this is a guy who every video he posts is about Jesus. So, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Rogue One is trash. How do I know? I didn't even watch it. That's very educated.
Oh yeah, that's real awesome.
Not enemy nor friend. This is kind of disappointing. I was expecting another social justice fest, but if you say so, ... Well, your name doesn't make sense because it's a double negative, you fucking cunt. Scott. A great movie. It was boring. The character. Yeah, R.I.P., mate. You're not American, so fuck you. Captain Fantastic. So disappointing. These guys can suck Donald Duck's dick. Now, what I appreciate about that is it's E.E. Cummings style wordplay. You got an A.B.A.C. style rhyming, can suck, Donald Ducks, and then you got an alliteration, Donald Duck's dick. So I really appreciate the thought that went into that. And then Daniel Logris, it's not spelled English, so fuck him. I hope I get the opportunity to watch it more so I can see shit I can nitpick at. That's why I go to the theaters, to inherently be disappointed, you fucking twat. Then we had a bunch of other ones saying, Mary Sue, poor characterization, poor world building, rehashed A New Hope, boring, lame as fuck, cash grab. Now, the cash grab one bothers me because I get that the majority of people that are old enough to appreciate these things are also too young to appreciate capitalism. So let me explain something to you. If these aren't making money, they're not going to be able to make more. And if they can't make more, they can't make ones that potentially your cynical ass is going to like. The fucking Sistine Chapel wasn't painted for free. You understand? These things are here to make money. They're not going to do it for free. Jews don't part with their money very easily. Do you got that? No, I get it. It's cool to be cynical. Jeff and Dion, they've known me for years. They know that I went through a period of like 4 years or so where I didn't really like anything. I went to see The Avengers, and I could not understand why anybody liked that movie. I thought there were so many plot holes. I thought the characters were boring. I thought the action was lame. And then I stopped being depressed, and I went and watched it again, and I saw that it was actually pretty incredible. It was really entertaining. And looking back, I realized I was just such a miserable asshole that it made me angry that other people weren't just as miserable. So I hated everything because they liked it. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for everybody. What I am saying is maybe Rogue One isn't shit. Maybe pop culture right now isn't shit. Maybe the world at large isn't shit. Maybe your attitude is. And that's all I have to say.
Well, I'm not going to try to follow up on that one, so we're just going to close this episode out right now. Thanks for listening. Merry Christmas. And this has been your host, Jeff Hicks, signing out.
This is the man with the plan and the original tan. I am so happy that my Dut is back on the show that I'm going to end my tenure of this episode with one lovely comment.
No!
I love you.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were going to say at the end of the day. Whew.
I drop them in now. That's a little treat.
The listeners comment at the end of the day quite a bit, so Dion, you're trending.
Goddamn right I am. Hashtag at the end of the day.
No.
Nick?
Oh, sorry. I'm your friendly neighborhood Simone saying Merry Christmas and don't drink too much this New Year's.
I'm not going to second that. Drink as much as you can without dying. Make sure you watch Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, and head over to incarnate-studios.com, pick up a shirt. There's going to be an after Christmas sale. So thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with our year in review episode.
Say goodbye.
Oh, sorry, you're here. Say goodbye, Dustin.
No. I'm just I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, So if my drug dealer will contact me, I've been waiting.
All right, good night. Merry Christmas.